All right, Benjamin Hadfield teach me to dive. We're doing the unboxing of the new ratio. This is the iX3M 2 Yes and GPS version. I'm very excited. They just got this from Italy, so thank you, Paolo, and Dive Systems and Ratio for sending this to me. I'm very excited. So we're gonna go and open this up and see what we got here. And the first thing you notice is, holy cow, look at this thing. It is huge. This is a giant computer. I went ahead and got my other computers out here just to give a reference of size. This is the Apex DSX. That is not trick photography. That is the actual size right there. But you think, wait a minute, what does it look like next to a Perdix? So I just happened to grab, this is Dickies Perdix P2, and you can see, holy cow, it is a big computer. So what comes in the box? Well, the Ratio computer itself, as well as the cord. Now, one of the cool things with Ratio, if you'd like the instruction manual, please read the instruction manual. It is online. You just download the PDF, or you can look at it. You are going to save the environment. It also has a whole bunch of videos on how to work this as well. As you take a look at it, let's just go ahead and turn on the Shearwater, and we'll turn on the Apex just to give you an idea of size. Yeah, that is a big computer. This is the GPS version, so you notice it's got GPS coordinates over here. Right now we are inside, we're at Yellowstone Lake, so in case you're wondering, 100%, this is the deep version. That's the mid-level that I went ahead and, yes, I snuck it out of the box and I put my name on it. So Benjamin, that's me as well. It's already got the automatic altitude, ambient pressure on there, current temperature. We got this set to OC mode, and I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of going ahead and adding the correct gradient factor as well. You notice it already pulled up the altitude because it's got GPS. It has pulled the GPS. It didn't take very long at all. But overall, that's what you're gonna see, and it clicks over. You can see that we've got already 2 tanks set up to it. I've got side mount. They're both on 21% right now. But that's the basic information you get. We'll go through much more information later on. It does come with an external charger. It comes with this nice little bayonet USB, and that just very simply pucks in the outside, and it screws in, and then it's pretty straightforward. It is, there we go. You can see my Mark III, I'm sorry, that's my Mark III. So it gives you an idea of the Mark III versus the Ratio as well. So big computer. Now, as you can see, we're starting into this dive. It's a 74-minute run time. We're sped this up about 300%. We're gonna head out to about 140 feet to give you a full look at what the Ratio really looks like through this whole process. Now, we've gone ahead and done this dive in twin sets. So there's only one pod hooked up to my tank. And so you'll see through the process just one gas. And typically we do these in side mount, but we decided to do this one in twin sets instead. Now, water temperature was actually pretty decent. When we got out to final depth, it got out to about 40 something degrees, 44, 45 degrees on this. And you see the temperature right now is reading out pretty quickly and dropping fairly quickly. It had sat out in the sun for just a little bit, so just kind of be aware as you look at this video. Now, some of the things we really liked that's hard to show in this particular video is the size of the Ratio. It is incredibly easy to see. The information's laid out fairly logically and very simple to get an idea of what am I looking at, what do I need to be aware of. And again, just be aware that we just hopped in the water and started our dive, so it's gonna take a little bit for the temperature to actually level out to get to where we wanted to be. Now, starting off, we click to the buttons, and this is our depth profile. It's really nice to be able to see this throughout the process. We clicked one more time, and now we're on our tissue compartments. Clicking again, we got through, we can see that we're at 3,300 PSI, and our remaining bottom time, RBT, 25 minutes. We found the RBT to be very accurate on this as well, and it gives you a really good idea of how much gas you have remaining at the depth you're currently at. Now, if you come up, less pressure means Boyle's Law, right? And of course, with Boyle's Law, pressure decreases, volume increases, you get a little bit more gas. Yay, yay, yay. The other thing I really liked about this, the compass was really simple and easy to get to. All the buttons are along the bottom. There's 4 of them. You push either the far right button, which they consider the D button, or you push the C button. And those give you all the transfers of things that you want to do. So if you push C button, it kicks you over to that compass, very bright, easy to read. You push the D button, that all the way to the right button, it starts clicking through into other things as well. Now it does take a little bit for the RBT to kick in and get a good idea where you're currently at, but it's pretty simple, and once it gets there, it gets there. Clicking one click over, you can see we do have the setup for 2 tanks. I was running side mount in this before. I wasn't terribly impressed with this computer in the side mount mode, so it really fell down on my list of side mount computers to number 4. Now, one of the things that was a little different for me with this and side mount is that in the primary skid, in that lower right hand corner, when I come up and it shows me my primary gas, it only tells me the gas that I'm currently using. And then when I switch over to the other tank, it switches to that other tank automatically as well. And we as side mount divers, we realize we want to be able to see both tanks simultaneously as we go through this process. But instead, unfortunately, with the ratio, when you click through, it clicks over and shows you both gases in the lower left-hand corner, and they're kind of small and it's a little bit more difficult to read as well. So it just wasn't my favorite when it came to running side mount. Other than that, I loved everything about this. It does have audio alerts as well as vibration alerts to kind of give you an idea, hey, what's going on, and you can set a lot of those alerts to what you need. Again, clicking through, this is our depth profile, our tissue compartments, looking at this as well. Upper right corner stays very clear and precise right there. It tells you NDL, and it was vibrating through as well, letting me know, hey, by the way, you're 2 minutes away from NDL, you're 3 minutes, whatever it was. And that's perfect. You definitely want to be able to get an idea, hey, this is where you're at, here's what's going on, and as you get ready to click into NDL. Now you can see this, again, this video is sped up 300%. Now, one of the things I really liked about the ratio and using the pods is the pods are also color-coded as well. So they flash a particular color based upon the amount of gas remaining in your tank. So if you're over 1500 PSI, it's gonna flash green. If you're between 500 PSI and 1500 PSI, it's gonna flash yellow, and below 500 PSI is gonna be red. Now, the only challenge with that is in running twin sets, that pod tends to be a little bit hidden in there as well, a little bit more difficult to see, but this is really clear and easy to read. You can see we're at 121 feet, we broke into deco, and it's starting to add that amount of deco time and sealing very clearly to our total time to surface. So at 123 feet, 30 feet per minute, plus our 1 minute at 19 feet, you can see that that's starting to add up, and it's giving us a real clear total time to surface. A clear run time. We've been doing this on this dive for 13 minutes or so, and we're at 129 feet at this point. It also gives you a very clear ascent rate or descent rate. And now you can see we're kind of going up, we're going down, going through this process, but it's very accurate. It's very quick. I was pretty impressed with how fast it changed that idea as well. And now you can kind of see the temperature starting to level off. We're at 136 feet. 47 degrees, 47.1 degrees, and then it gives you that OC mix as well. You can see we're definitely getting a little farther into the deco profile as well, and it gives you a very clear right there in the center, hey, dude, here is your deco profile. You have to ascend to 29 feet, and you need to remain there for 3 minutes. Now, one of the cool things I liked about this computer as well, and you'll see a little bit later in this video, that if I hit that right button and go through it, it'll give me my entire decompression profile. Now, remember, this computer was based and started in metric, and it works its way over and converts from metric first over to imperial, which, you know, it's completely understandable. So we get a little bit different deco profiles than what we might see on some of the competitors that will give it to you in round and easy numbers, and that's fine. 29 feet or 30 feet, whatever. That's my ceiling. I knew what that looked like. I wasn't terribly worried about that. Now you can see we're starting to ascend out the profile. We got out there, we hit our big dive to 140 feet. This is just a bounce dive, just so that you can see what does this computer look like through the process. Other cool things, you can kick a timer on there, you can get your time of day. There's your oxygen toxicity units as well as your CNS. Now you look over there, it said PS4, that was my gradient factor and my conservative factor. So at PS4, that's running a 5085. Once we kick into deco, we're able to see a decompression schedule very, very clearly. You can see as we look at that, what exactly we have to expect. So we knew that at 29 feet, we had 4 minutes. At 19 feet, we had some, and then it had another one at 16 feet as well. So we're able to click through and see, here's exactly how we're getting to that total time to surface. The other thing I really liked, the compass was really crazy easy to use in this. It's got your reciprocal course on there, your current direction, as well as the direction that you need to be
going to get there. To set that direction of travel, you just simply hit the D button. You don't hit it, but you hold it for a few seconds, and it'll tell you, okay, that is now your new course that you need to go. And now you can tell we've made a turn here. It wants us to turn around, and you're going the wrong way, dude. So not a big deal. I didn't mess with it too much. I knew where I was at. I knew how to find my way out, but I wanted to get you guys the idea of here's what the compass looks like, very clear. The thing you're kind of notice as we look at the ratio computer, you'll see a lot of times where it goes and it's a little overexposed. This is a really, really bright computer. It probably could double as a flashlight, truthfully. The other piece that you can't really tell with just looking at this as well is that it is really, really a big computer. My buddy can see this from a good distance away. Now, granted, this dive, we had about 15, 18 feet of viz. But at 10 feet, my buddy could see pretty much everything that was going on my computer, and we knew exactly what was going on. Now we're starting to send out of the holes, and we're finally around 82 feet, 83 feet. We're trying to find that way back to the shore as well. It's in this direction at some point. There we go. We can see we're starting to shallow up as well. But other great things, it's got that PPO2, so you can always kind of stay out of trouble with that. It's telling you our max depth was 140.1 feet. And that we need to come up to 29 feet if we're going to go to a ceiling and we want to exit out of this as well. And again, TTS, total time to surface, very clear. Remaining bottom time, there it is. And we have a pressure of 2117 there. Clear, easy, simple to read. With this computer, you can add more gases. This is the mid-level of this, and this one will take and use up to 3 pods and as well as gases as well. So you can do a trimix mix, and you can do a normoxic trimix with this particular level, 18% oxygen and any percent of helium that you'd like to do as well. So it's pretty simple, pretty easy to use. If you're getting into the hardcore tech and you're going to start using a hypoxic trimix instead of a normoxic trimix, you'll want to go up to the Tech Plus on this as well. That'll give you unlimited gradient factor adjustments, as well as you'll be able to go up to 10 gases and 10 pods as well. One of the cool things I liked about this as well is if I decided I wanted this one to be a Tech Plus, which I've gone ahead and ordered that as well. And so future videos with this computer will show it as the Tech Plus instead of the one that I currently have. It is a pretty simple process. I ordered over the software upgrade. That's all it is. It's really just an unlock key for all you gamers out there. So what I'll do is I'll plug this into my computer, I'll punch in the unlock code, and boom, it'll automatically be the Tech Plus version instead of just the deep version that you currently see overall. So it's a simple, easy way. You can start with the just the normal version of this, the very basic recreational version, and as you grow with the computer, you call up, you order an unlock key, and it can take it to the next level. They're about $200 for the unlock key, so it's super easy to do. Plug it in with that little bayonet mount that comes with it, and then go ahead and go to the ratio computer program, and you can do everything from that point. It's pretty straightforward. I also decided to show you, as you go in this, you can still do your mix tables, you can adjust your transmitters, you can do everything. You can turn other transmitters on, turn other gases on if you have them off for whatever. So you can do pretty much everything underwater that you can do on the surface as well. So nothing is really out of your range or out of what you want to do. So you can change the display. If you have a really long Deco Stop and you want to change the colors of your display, you can do that too. It has full capabilities to change everything you want to do, including your preferences, dive alarms. If you get tired of a freaking dive alarm, turn it off. You can absolutely do that during a long Deco Stop, but make sure always dive safely, dive your plan your dive as always. Again, Benjamin Hadfield, Teach Me to Dive. If you like this kind of content, make sure you take the time to subscribe. We've got more computers, we've got other computers coming up, and lots of other interviews as well. Now, to kind of return back over to this, got a lot of questions on this one. Do I like this computer? Yes, I think this is a very fine computer. It's got some very stiff competition in this space though as well. I like that it's rechargeable, it's simple, it's easy to use, it is ginormous. You will not be able to not see this. I wear reading glasses. So some of the computers that are a little smaller can be tougher for me to read as I go through. So this is a nice, easy one that I didn't have any trouble reading, and like I said, my buddy could read it from a good distance as well. We're up to 34 minutes in the runtime on this, 12 minutes time to surface. You definitely tell that if we're at 41 feet and there's 12 minutes, there's got to be some deco time in there as well. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy to figure out. You can see that our deco time is kind of thinning down a little bit. We're down to 19 minutes or 19 feet for 1 minute, and it gives you that, hey, you're at a deco stop. Remaining bottom time, we're breathing right along. You can see kind of kicking through some stuff. We did some heavy breathing there for a second, and then and we're ascending out, and it's figuring out our new remaining bottom time. Overall, I like the remaining bottom time. It seems like it's moving a lot faster than it actually was. Remember, this is 300%. And again, you can click through, and it's kind of fun to be able to click through and see exactly where everything it was. You can tell we're running a 21% mix. This is just air. I wanted to get us in some deco. Gives you that average depth, back up to temperature. It was warming up really nicely in this reservoir for us, so it was really great to do some deco time in this, because we eventually got to 64 degrees water temp. Now, one of the things it does, we're in deco, so it'll put a red line around your controlling tissue compartment. Now, if you don't understand gradient factors or tissue compartments, and you're thinking about getting into tech diving, please, for the love of God, take a class. Get some knowledge behind you before you do start doing this stuff. Now, as you saw right there, that was our decompression schedule as well, and you can tell that it gives you everything that you need to know. And they're in a little bit different numbers because, like I said, again, it translates it from Italian. But the cool thing is when you get to the full Tech Plus computer, you can adjust some of that as well. So you've got a lot of adjustments and a lot of adjustability as well. Other questions that you may be wondering is how easy is it to program gases in? Pretty simple. Other things I really liked, it also has a mix calculator in there. So if you decide you've got a tank that is 50% full and it has a 60% blend of nitrox in it, you want to take it up to some level of trimix or some level of gas other than what's currently in there, or even just what's currently in there, and you need to mix that up. You program in, it says, okay, I've got 50% of a 100 cubic foot tank, and it's HP tank, and I need to take that up to a 60% blend. Put it in, it'll give you all the calculations and the recipe so that you can put that all together. Other cool things, this computer does have an optional nitrox sensor on it as well. So you can program it in, plug it in, and analyze your nitrox tanks to get an idea what's in that as well. And not only will it analyze it for you, but it'll also take that time to put it in as the gas that you want it. So if I'm analyzing a tank and it's going to be my first tank, I can analyze it against my first tank. It'll say, okay, this mix is 51.3 or 52 or whatever it is. My go-to deco blend is usually 55 to 65. That's typical for me, but it's really nice. You can see we're starting to come out of deco a little bit more. We're finally down to the point it wants us to remain at 16 feet for 8 minutes, giving us a total time to surface of 9 minutes. We're about 50% through our gas at this point. We've kind of breathed through it pretty quick, but it's we got to 140 feet on this, and we're at 45 minutes. So it's not bad. I could have breathed a little less. I was going through and really focusing on this computer, so don't judge me too hardly. Again, I really like that Ascent meter. As we go through this, some challenges that I did have, I like the pods. They're rechargeable, they're simple, but I'm not sure that I'm 100% sold on a rechargeable pod, to be truthful with you. For me, it's a little bit more of a challenge. I keep each group of regs that I have in specific bags, and then I put them on my shelf. So for me to charge this, I either have to take the pod off, or I have to take that whole reg set, or reg bag, if you will, over to somewhere where I can charge it. And the cord that I have currently is only about 3 feet, so it's a little bit more challenging for me to get this over to a charger. It's a great idea. There's been more than once where I've been out in location or out somewhere diving, and I've noticed that one of my pods has gone dead, and I just didn't have the CR 9000 watt Energizer Bunny Ready battery with me. And so this was kind of slick that no matter where I'm at, if I'm in a hotel, I can pull my regulators in, put a charger on it, and I can make sure that I get a full charge on that computer. The bayonet mount was super simple to use as well. I think there might be some advantage for this company to do some induction charging, but that's down the road for them. I think they're staying with the bayonet charger, which was fine and simple. I think we're just getting to a level of convenience. And again, for twin set diving, for single tank diving, I think this is a fantastic computer. For side mount diving, I don't really think this is going to be a computer that I would use on a regular basis for side mount. As a side mount diver, I'd really like to see that RBT and that PSI both become PSI, so like left tank, right tank, and possibly some sort of notification that it tells me to go from left to right to left, and gives me a switch alarm of some kind, maybe 200 PSI or 5 bar, whatever it is, right? Something simple and easy for me that I can program in, because I want to know when to switch. And the only way I'm going to know to switch is if I can see both tanks simultaneously. So that's what I would encourage. I think that'd be a good thing. The other things I would love to see on this computer that currently are not there are some sort of GF Surface and GF99. I think those would be fantastic additions to this computer, as well as potentially a gas density. If they were to add those things, I think this would be easily the #1 computer in my bag, adjusted for side mount, as well as add those things in. It would absolutely be my primary computer on most things. For single tank and twin sets, absolutely, this is going to become my primary computer because it's simple, it's easy to use, it's bright, it's really large. Now, just be aware, this largeness can be a problem for somebody like my wife, who's certainly a lot smaller than probably half my size. She has a petite little arm. This takes up a good portion of your arm, so you have to be aware of that when adding slates as well. So I tend to wear a wrist slate, so that's something that we've got to take into consideration, is how those slates are going to fit on your arm overall. Now, again, you can see that it's my 5th tissue. That's the controlling tissue compartment. Now we have our total decompression schedule. You see a lot of zeros. We're down to our final deco sealing. Got like 2 minutes left on that, with a total of 3 minutes left time to surface. Other things I did notice, the pods definitely take a charge very quickly, very easily, but in cold water, it's definitely, my experience at this point now, having a bunch of dives on this, that I would definitely make sure I charge them every night if I'm doing a lot of big dives during the day, or especially cold water dives during the day. Make sure to charge them up. Other than that, the computer itself tends to hold a good charge. Now, be aware that if you are using the GPS a lot, that sucks the battery down faster than a kid on Coca-Cola. It is definitely something you want to make sure that you're charging at night if you're using that GPS. Overall, I have mixed feelings on the GPS. I like the GPS. I thought it was neat. I'm using Subsurface for my logger for this, and it gave me the location and a map in that logger for where I had dove and for my descent point. But there's a couple challenges with it, and I have a hard time with this one because there's another computer out there that has a much better GPS that is more easily workable. You're not able to program in custom waypoints into it. You have to have actually been to the place in order to log the waypoint. It has 20 spots for waypoints as well. So I think they're well on their way, and the GPS was super easy to use, but my challenge with it was that I couldn't program in my own waypoints into it. So if I could program my own waypoints into it, that would be really, really cool. And I think that would definitely put it over the edge for me on the GPS and into loving it. There's only one other computer out there that has GPS that I like better than this, and it's pretty obvious who they are. I wear one on a daily basis. But things like the Apex DSX, they tried to come out with a GPS and they did just a really, really poor job. Where Ratio's done a really nice job of making the GPS easy to access, easy to see, easy to work with. I feel like they've gotten right to the finish line. They just need to add a couple more things to make that GPS really just a fantastic piece of tech in there as well. Because there's times with a GPS, you want to be able to go in and edit maybe the seconds or the minutes on your GPS coordinates, so that you're able to really dial that coordinate in and find it more accurately on your drops as well. Other than that, I think it's a great computer. You can see we did clear Deco, and because the way we cleared Deco, it's not going to pop up with a safety stop, but it does have a nice easy safety stop that you can do it and program that to 16 feet or to 21 feet if you'd like, or 29 feet. You can do different levels of the GPS or the safety stop as well. So it was super easy to use. We really didn't need a safety stop in this because we spent plenty of time at depth kicking around and going through that process. Now, the other challenge is there's a lot of light going on here, so we're getting a lot of reflectiveness, but that didn't bother me at all while I was diving. You could always kick it to a little bit different position so that it's not reflecting and you seeing yourself or your GoPro in this particular case. But other than that, in terms of rating on this, it's really a tough one for me. I would give this computer a 4.5 stars out of 5. Absolutely. I think it's a great computer, simple to read, really easy to work with. Programming was definitely a breeze. Programming in the pods was simple, rechargeable. I like. I think they're just right there at that cross line, finish line with just a little bit more effort. I think they're there, right? And I think this is a great guy's computer. I have a hard time seeing somebody petite like my beautiful wife taking the time to put something like this on, because it is so large. It's one of those computers that is large. It is heavy too. That if you got whacked in the head with this, dude, you'd be done. I mean, absolutely D-U-N. But overall, for somebody like me or an older guy, and you know, we all know that diving, most of the divers out there are middle-aged white guys that wear reading glasses. So we get it. But again, working through the process, you can see my tissue compartments are cleared. There's my PPO2, my remaining bottom time, as well my OC mix and PSI. We're down to 1200 PSI. Now, got to remember, we are on twin sets, so that's 100 cubic foot tanks on this instead of just one. So we got oodles and oodles of time at 20 feet, not a big deal. And then it got that big, nice NDL meter. It will keep measuring that NDL for you throughout this whole process. Overall, again, I really like this computer. It's very simple, easy to use. I'm excited to see what Ratio has next. I know that those guys, Paleo out there, is working on the next greatest thing, and I'm sure that they've got lots of cool upgrades coming. They're a bunch of good people. This is a solid computer. Their customer support has been, bar none, fantastic. The price point on this, if you're getting the non-GPS of the iX3M, you're looking at right at $800 for the recreational version, $1,000 for the middle version, and $1,200 for the full-on Trimix, do everything super duper cool computer. Look about $200 more for the iX3M GPS version, which that's what this is. This is the full GPS version. So you're looking at, instead of that, you're looking at almost $1,000 for the base version. You're looking at about $1,200 for the mid version and $1,400 for the full-on tech, everything, 10 pods, 10 gases, and all the way into hypoxic Trimix as well. And again, great computer, great manufacturer, great across the board, and a solid 4.5 stars. And for me, that's a big number as well. Just having been through so many computers, that I would have to tell you that this has just been a pleasure to work with this team. It's been a pleasure to work with this computer overall. And will I use it again is the magic question, or will I get rid of it? I will absolutely. This has gone into my mix, and it is one of the computers that I now keep for my twin sets, as well as I keep it for my single tank back mount stuff. For side mount, it's just not my favorite. Sorry guys. I just don't think the person who set it up for side mount was a side mount diver, because there's definitely some other keys. Again, Benjamin Hadfield, teach me to dive. Thanks for watching our video on the Ratio computer. Again, 4.5 stars, great computer. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe and share with all your friends.